So that's what we're going to try to fix. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Enduro Evolution. In this video, I'm going to try to fix the exhaust flange that broke from the Resurrection XC race. I'm going to try to fix it with JB Weld, so if this works, it'll save a bit of money. This piece here is broken. We're going to fill that up with JB Weld. I'm going to sand it down, sand the inside down if it needs to be, and then I'll put a flange saver on it. You can see the pipe is tight here, it bent it. Bent everything. We're going to bleed the brakes, we're going to fix the exhaust. We're going to fix this strap. It worked pretty good until it ripped apart. It's probably my fault. Tire's good. We're going to bleed the brakes. So what I'm using is JB Weld here. Let's have a look what it says. Alright, so let's break into this. This is the exhaust flange I ordered for KTM. Might have problems. I've been reading on the internet that it doesn't fit. It has to be machined or something. Let's have a look what we got here. $415. It's a pricey little fix. So we got some O-rings. Ordered them. Fancy pen. Doesn't look like it's been opened. This is the new piece. So this is the new exhaust flange. I'm going to try the JB Weld first, and if it doesn't fix it or work, I'll use this. So what they say on some of the forums I've been reading is that these are mated to the cylinder and then machined, so they're a mated pair. A lot of people will say that they go through 2 or 3 of these before they find one that fits. And at $415, I'm not going through a few of them. So this is my last resort, the proper way. But if the JB Weld works, you know, why not use that? It'd be cheaper, less stuff to take apart. My idea is to fix the flange with JB Weld, sand it down, and then use a flange saver. Use a flange saver to hold the JB Weld in. So we'll try that and see if it works. So I think what they're getting at is these are machined to the cylinder. So your power valve sits in there. I don't know. So JB Weld, flange saver to hold it all together. I got this foam here that might work. That's what I'm going to use, that foam. That way the JB Weld can put some tin foil around this. So the tin foil will be going around this. Alright, so this is my plan. I'm going to shove this inside the broken exhaust flange. Right here's where it's broke. I'm going to clean the old one up really good. And then I'm just going to dump a bunch of JB Weld in there. I'm going to let it stick to that tin foil. I'm going to overbuild it. And then I'm going to sand it all down back to that profile, outside, inside, and this flat edge. and then put this flange saver around it, and then hopefully that locks everything in. Here's the flange saver. All sorts of exhaust bolts now. So after it's JB welded here, I'm going to slip this on. Where did it go here? That's the way it'll sit. See, these holes are lined up. So the plan is once the JB weld is in there, sanded down, this will fit on top and that'll hold everything together. First thing we're going to do is take off the seat and gas tank. Got a little crack starting. It's a shitty seat anyways. Alright, so take a clip, connection, disconnect that, disconnect the fuel. Alright, see if I can do it one-handed. Alright, so I built this spring puller. It's just a piece of mechanics wire wound to a bolt and some tape on it so it doesn't poke you. But that's homemade spring puller. Alright, so we're going to take the exhaust off and clean it up, check it out for damage. So it's a good thing just to go over all your parts. This is a muffler. Just make sure it's not cracked. Sticker's a bit wore, but that'll happen when you crash a lot. Next, the gnarly. Let's take off the gnarly. So hook your spring. Alright, so this is dented up a little bit. We'll blow the dents out of there though. There's an AXP skid plate. You take these bolts out. We'll loosen those ones. Oh, she did its job down here. Fuck, some gnarly rocks at Resurrection. Alright, next we'll drain the coolant. As you loosen that radiator cap, it's going to come shooting out of here. So take off the cap slowly. Alright, so you remove everything from the head, remove your sensor, your spark plug, and your hose. Loosen these bolts off in a crisscross pattern so you don't warp your head. So your radiator hose system and your thermostat. This is a thermostat on a 300 250. So it regulates your temperature. You want to keep that in there if you're riding in the wintertime. So take off this connector to your injector. Put the boot back over it. Store it up here. Alright, so next we'll take off the power valve cover. So you can see right there is numbers. 484. 484. So those two pieces are made at that factory. I'm not going to rip it all apart to find out it doesn't work and then buy all new gaskets and O-rings, all that shit. Alright, so these gaskets are new. I just rebuilt this. There's probably not even 8 hours on it, so I'm reusing all of them. So one thing we are going to do, we're going to put some paper towel in there so this little clip doesn't fall in there or anything. That would be a huge pain in the ass. Let's pop that clip out of there. Alright. Set your little clip aside. Pop that guy off. Carefully remove this. Alright, so next we're going to take out the injector bolts. Don't let any dirt or anything drop in your injector ports. So those are an 8mm or Torx, T30 Torx. Slap that in there. take this bolt out and clean up really good around there, emery cloth all this. We'll see how that piece fits there. Alright guys, so I'm gonna start sanding this down. Where we at here? I'm gonna sand all that down with emery cloth, clean it up, degrease it, sand the inside, and then we're gonna shove that piece of foam that's from a hand, like a Renthal handlebar bar pad. Shove that in there and see what it looks like. Alright guys, so the JB weld's set up. I'm going to pull out the foam and tin foil and we're going to start sanding it and see what it looks like. So my idea is that it's going to stick to that tin foil, rip that apart, and then I can sand it all down and shape it. So I put this paper towel in here, so we try to get as little dirt as possible in there, wrapping this, and then we're going to tape it. Scrape that. We went to Riverside and did a little shop. Put some 0.50 gasket for 2019 KTM 300 XCW. Got some gloves. in case. Alright, let's start putting this thing back together. So alright, so we're going to put the gasket on here. So which way should the gasket go? The letters facing down or nothing facing down? You can see here there's ink on the crankcase, so that tells me that the ink side is down. Down. Alright, so when you're putting the cylinder back on, you got to match up the piston rings to this little groove. I'll show you. You can see the grooves there. See, need to put them like that. Alright, let's install the cylinder. You have to take off the flange saver before the cylinder will fit onto the base. Alright, so tighten your ring gap up. Alright, cylinder installed. Put our nuts back on. Finger tight. 25.8. So the cylinder's torqued down. Next we can hook up the power valve. I'm going to put the spark plug in here to hold everything together so that insert doesn't fall out. Torque the cylinder down to 19.9 foot-pounds. Make sure all your hose clamps are on. Cleaned up as good as it's getting. That one slid right on. The top one slid right on. That's good. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna add a little blue Loctite to these. So I wouldn't recommend Loctiting a steel nut into an aluminum case. You'd probably wreck the threads, so I'm just going to torque this one. We'll torque them all, but not Loctiting this one. These two are getting Loctited. Alright guys, I had these hooked from the plastics to a bolt that I fabbed up. Just made a little bolt here a little longer. And they did what they're supposed to do. They snapped off and didn't wreck the plastics. And they don't fit up that good anyways. You just want it to flap, and then these both were broken off, so that's good. Plastics aren't cracked. Looks good there. Alright guys, bike's all done. We got everything repaired up. We bled the rear brakes. Put the strap back on. Everything should be good, ready for a test ride tomorrow.